Council Talks. Thank you, Rebecca, thank you. Welcome to our Health Council Talks. Today, we're very excited to share some very, very exciting news, not to be redundant, but it is with much excitement for us to give you an update as to this integrated comms and a learning tool that we are implementing in service of our health councils. But first, I want to take a moment to introduce our team here and also our new member to NMHC, our community here. So we've got Rebecca and Geraldine and Susan, as you all know. Welcome everybody, and our dear guests who have joined us too. And we've been welcoming all of you via chat, and thank you for making time to join us. Hi, Brenda. But I want to welcome our new member to our team here at NMHC, Beanie Montoya, who comes to us with over 15 years of experience in marketing communications. And together we're looking to leverage all of you for success in and around all things advocacy as we start with this legislative session and all things related to educating our public about the incredible work, the dedication that you have, all of you in this space in our across New Mexico with regards to advancing health equity and being of service to our community members. So I want to open up this space for Beanie to say hi and introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Beanie Montoya. My last job was as the Marketing and Communications Manager at the Colorado Bar Association, CLE. I am really looking forward to working with hopefully many of you, and then sorry, the initialism always catches me up. But with working with the organization to help fund the great work and to help with awareness and visibility for everyone. And I'm in Colorado. I live in Denver, Colorado. I think that's it. Sorry.
Welcome, Beanie. We're so happy to have you here and looking forward to working together in service of our health councils and our partnerships here in the public health sector in New Mexico. So without, let's see, make sure we've got everybody. If we can have dear Rebecca, please open up our viewing of our platform, and I'll hand it over to Geraldine. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me begin here. Apologies. We want to open up our space here with a land acknowledgement from NMHC and our partners, which reads as follows. New Mexico Alliance of Health Councils humbly recognizes and acknowledges we are on ceded territory and ancestral lands of the original peoples of New Mexico's Pueblos, Apache nations, and the Navajo Nation. Together, we acknowledge the history of genocide, dispossession, colonization, and ongoing systemic inequities while strengthening and respecting relationships with Indigenous peoples. We give thanks to the past, present, and future stewards of this land and respect all tribal nations' sovereignty. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous resiliency, self-determination, and self-governance of New Mexico's tribes and nations who are here today. Welcome, Debbie. Thank you all so much, and I'll pass it over to Geraldine.
Thank you, Val, and good afternoon. I'm Geraldine. If we have not met, I am the tribal liaison with the Alliance, and so happy to be here and take this opportunity to talk about Mighty Networks. And so just kind of give a quick kind of an overview of today's purpose of working with Mighty Networks and talk about how we got here. And so I'm just going to start with, how we have, last year during some of our surveys and thinking about capacity building, what is going to be the best way to support county and tribal health councils. And so based off some of the feedback we received from health councils, looking at how we could engage more with other health councils and learn from other health councils, kind of thinking about successes and challenges. And so stories and lived experiences. And so, I think that this opportunity to work with Mighty Networks is going to be so helpful for health councils statewide. And so the Alliance is going to use Mighty Networks, which is a platform to help us streamline communication efforts and also our programming efforts that are offered in support of health councils. And so Mighty Networks is basically a learning platform. If you think about it, there are different types of variations of this out there. I think one that I kind of see that is utilized in some of the health council spaces is Basecamp. And so think of this as something like similar to that platform, the way we're going to interface internally between health councils. And so we want to be sure that we're including all county health councils and all tribal health councils. And so we'll talk about more specifically what those hubs look like. And so this platform, Val. Okay.
Mistake, sorry.
No worries, no worries. And so just continuing here, basically Mighty Networks is going to be an opportunity for health councils to learn from each other. And we want to support capacity building with this communication efforts and, help health councils purposely learn from each other and share with each other. And so there'll be different types of functions in this platform to allow you to interact, respond, reply. And so it's a really good way to interface with health councils. And I think a big part of this work is we do all this amazing work, but I think that we don't connect enough with each other to be able to share about it and talk about it and build more meaningful relationships with one another. And so this could definitely be, a good start to some of the relationship building to even, strengthen current relationships maybe that you already have with health councils. And so with this platform, I know we'll talk about it here in a bit, but some different types of resources that will be available through this platform are recordings, having profiles of your health council, the option to have direct messaging. We will be building a resource library that encompasses a lot of the capacity building elements. Real-time discussions and learning circles and social media. And so I just want to note that we want Mighty Networks to be a one-stop shop for a lot of the work and the way that we interface with one another. Because if you've noticed, there's so many announcements, there's emails coming out from the Alliance. And so we just want to be sure that we can capture a lot of this communication and have it, in a one place, kind of one-stop shop, which is what we want Mighty Networks to serve as. And I do want to note too that we do not want to replace any type of one-on-one engagement, the way that we have one-on-one meetings, the way that we do TA, if it's phone calls, text messages, Zoom meetings, in-person meetings. This is by no means a way to eliminate any of that. We just want Mighty Networks to serve as an additional resource to the way that we kind of engage with health councils, because we know that there are a variety or variation of capacity building, the capacity building levels that exist in this network of health councils. And so we just want to be sure that this kind of serves as a resource in addition to all that. So none of that will end. We want to continue the one-on-ones and meeting health councils in person and virtually. And so also I just will end to hear that as part of Mighty Networks, today's purpose is to give a tour and talk about the different elements. Feel free to stop us, ask questions, and give feedback. And also, we want to implement those revisions and refinements to the platform so that way it is accessible and it is in the best way supports health councils, in all ways and by all means with capacity building and with the communication efforts. And so I'm just going to take a quick break here and ask Rebecca and Val if there's anything that I missed.
Thank you, Geraldine. That was very, very thorough. I would just add one piece of information is that And thank you for giving voice to the fact that this by no means replaces our human connection and our attention to each of you individually with all the unique needs that you have. So this is just the purpose of it is to have a sort of streamlined way of communicating, keeping you informed, having resources available to you. And also as we go into this advocacy, legislative session, is going to be a great mechanism to keep you informed as to our advocacy efforts on behalf of all of you, in support of all of you, in ways that we can engage together as a unified voice across New Mexico, right? During this legislative session. That's one. Two, I want to say that we're going to have engagement points throughout the next 6 months to really stay informed with you in mind as to how you are experiencing this tool. Is it beneficial? Is it supporting you in your own capacity? Is it leveraging you for success? Are the tools that are available via this mechanism useful? Because we want to make sure that it is. And if it isn't, we need to make modifications. And then last point is that currently this platform, this communications learning tool, is close to health councils to begin with, in service of health councils. Eventually, as we assess how efficient we're all utilizing this tool, I would really like to open it up to, partners like through the core team or our DOH, maybe a regional health promotion team, that kind of stuff. But that's sort of down the road of considerations. And also perhaps even every health councils have the ability to branch out from this, Mighty Networks into creating that space for their own membership. But not to get too ahead, I like to dream big. For now, we're focusing on health councils in support of health councils. So if you bear with us for these first 6 months so that we can see how well we're doing and how efficient we are being together, that would be great. And I'll pass it over to Rebecca.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. I think you both covered it.
Okay, perfect. And so just very quickly before Diana?
I have just a quick clarification. So if the health promotion specialist is part of a health council, is there an inclusion or an exclusion reason that would kick in or out those folks? I don't know how to ask that delicately.
Yeah, I got you, Diane. And that's kind of what I was alluding to. Maybe I wasn't very clear. Apologies. So this implementation is in response to feedback that we got from our health councils, right? And so NMHC is in service of, in support of health councils to leverage them for success. So first phase is we're opening up this tool internally to support health councils. In my mind, second phase, third phase would be to then engage partners in various ways, right? So it's not about exclusion, is that we want this implementation to be successful. So we want to give it the time and space for utilization, for feedback, for refinement, for assessing how efficient are we utilizing, how confident are folks at utilizing this tool. Is it a supportive tool? Is it an efficient communication tool? So we want to sort of hash out through all of that in phase one, and then together say, okay, how else can we utilize this tool to enhance communication, to increase efficiency, not just internally, but with our partners. So that's something that we will explore together, at a 6-month marker to say, how well are we doing? Does that satisfy your question, Diana?
Sort of. So it just kind of leaves a couple of folks that have both hats at the same time in a weird spot, like, and that person might actually be providing technical assistance to the health council in order to be able to access and learn and benefit from the Mighty Networks. So I just didn't want there to be an awkwardness around who's allowed to participate if they are in fact the person supporting the health council to participate at all.
And Diana, I think this begs for a space where perhaps you and I and other DOH team members can sit down and say, okay, because we're partners in this, and we're where synergistically speaking, can we create that integration currently in Mighty Networks and together test it out? So I love for us to schedule a working session together, and I'll lean into you to tell me, Val, we want to make sure this person, that person, and this other person is in that space so that
And I
all the
don't know
voices
the
that are
people,
needed.
because the state's a big place, so maybe the core team with the managers is a good place to
Yeah.
figure it out.
So that's something actually that's on the upcoming core team agenda. We're going to be talking about this, providing them a thorough overview and potentially discussing like, what could this look like, right? I think my concern is always not to overwhelm people, because with technology and new tools, even though the intention is to be efficient and it is to be helpful and resourceful, we never want to overwhelm folks. So that's why we're sort of like beginning these like phases, right? And baby steps towards like, what's the utilization right now? What can it grow into something more? So yes, on the core team, and would love to circle back with you to follow this thread of communication and see what we can create together. And we see, does that satisfy you, Diana, before I move on? Beautiful. Go ahead, Christine, we see you.
Just a real quick question. I don't know if it's just me, but Val, you're pretty hard to hear. So I don't know if there's any way of pushing up the volume or something on this, but
I've
Val
got
in
it all the
particular, I
way
have a
up.
hard time.
Yeah,
Okay.
apologies, Christine. I've got my volume all the way up and I'm projecting. I don't know if others are having the same issue. Let us know. Maybe Christine.
I am also having the same issue. It's hard to hear you. I did have to turn my speakers all the way up, and it's still a little hard.
Yeah, mine are
Okay.
all the way up.
And mine is all the way up.
Okay.
Do we have caption? Let me see if the captions work.
Yeah. And
That's what
Val,
I'm using. I'm
Yeah,
using my Otter AI for transcription, and that works fine.
yeah, we're getting
Okay.
some in the chat saying they can hear well, loud and clear.
Then that's it. Yep, no problem.
Okay, Christine, maybe I'm going to make sure you can hear us. Maybe you can turn on yours. Let me see if I can turn this on. Rebecca, I'm going to lean into you, my friend. How do I do the closed captions?
No, they're already on. They're
they're already
they're
on.
Don't
enabled.
worry
if
about
you
it.
have them.
I can hear. I just
Okay,
probably I'll need to move in closer.
all right. All right, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. So yes, on all these points, thank you so much for bringing your ideas to light, and Diana will follow up with you and any other of our partners that want to have, similar conversations. Absolutely, we're here to explore with you and see how we can integrate further as we move forward. So for now, I will move it, hand it over to Rebecca.
I think Geraldine was going to ask a question, but
Oh, go ahead, Gerald.
Okay. Yeah. And also I was going to add on that note about, the health promotion and those serving kind of in a TA role, the health councils and too. So if you're a health council who works like very closely with the health promotion staff member, and like you'd love to share your thoughts around some of that planning too, and what that would look like for your health council and Mighty Networks, like we'd love to also hear from you as well. And so I guess now I'm going to just transition into a very quick, just do a little quick question, and then we're going to go into the tour. And so I guess my question is, has anyone used Mighty Networks before in any capacity, work life? I mean, if you've heard of Mighty Networks or have used it, can we get some type of thumbs up or some type of emoji? And I'll just kind of scan the little screen here. I don't see anyone popping up with, oh, okay, thumbs down. So that's it. Okay, thumbs up from Sarah. Okay, thank you. Kayla from Otero. And thumbs down from Beanie. Never use Mighty Networks. Okay, so it kind of, and Mallory, thumbs down. So it looks like, yeah, never use. It seems like this will definitely be a new learning experience, a new platform for us to all kind of dive into. Never use, thumbs down. Okay, so I think for us, that gives us kind of a good picture of you know, how familiar others are with this network, this platform specifically. So never heard. Okay, all thumbs down. Okay, I gotcha. And so that's very helpful for us, at least in this little kind of tour phase, and kind of getting an idea of where health councils are at with this platform specifically. So that was the only question I had, and I'm going to pass it to Rebecca now for us to kind of start this tour.
Yeah, and I do want to note on that front, that was our expectation, was that you had no idea about Mighty Network. So we are not going to approach this thinking that you already have a knowledge of it. We're definitely approaching this thinking this is brand new to everyone that's going to be a part of it. So don't think we were expecting you to say yes, and you're expected to know things. So I'm going to start just as a brief overview of what you're going to see. So what your perspective will be when you get the link to join Mighty Networks. Just run through what everything is, run through a few basic things, but I will note we've done screen recordings of this, one that's a little more in depth, one that's pretty much just what I'll do with you here, just so you can have them, but we're also available for help on joining it as well. So let me share my screen. So you are going to get a hyperlink from us at the Alliance, and this is where the hyperlink will leave you, right here on this page. It'll say, you'll just click join. This is where you can create an account, just your name, email, password. You can also connect through email or Facebook if that's better for you. But I already have an account, so you can just click sign in. Taking a minute.
Rebecca, while it's loading, do you mind if you had mentioned that who will get hyperlinks initially as we phase in? Could you talk a bit about that as well?
I don't think we have a total system exactly how that will happen, but you'll get it via email. You'll get a hyperlink, and then you'll just get the link to join the Mighty Networks from either the info @ email or from one of us at the Alliance. Do you agree, Val? Okay. All right, let's give her a reload here. There we go. Okay. So this is what you're going to see when you log in for the first time. So just going left to right, really. So this is your create button. This is helpful, but I don't think you have to focus on that one too much. The first one is going to be your feed. So this is what you're going to open up to when you open Mighty Networks. This feed encapsulates every single group or hub that you're a part of on Mighty Networks into one feed. So think of it almost like a Facebook feed, but with no ads and no sponsored posts or anything like that. So it's just going to be information that's happening across all of the hubs. So you don't have to go to, and I'll talk about what hubs are in a minute as well, but this is just your collective feed of everything that's happening in Mighty Networks will show up on this page. So for example, we have our Monday training posted here. So the information on how to join that meeting on Monday, the peer learning session, there's a post here for that. Every time someone joins, they can post here showing their name, introducing themselves. You can react to it. You can comment, much again, like Facebook or any social media platform. You can post pictures, like, cheer on, everything like that. So that's here. This can be your main hub to see everything that's happening across the board. The next one is the Discovery Hub. This one is more of a broken down version of shows you your upcoming events. The top posts, maybe posts that are getting a lot of attention or other people are really focusing on. Those will show up here. And there's also going to be a welcome checklist, which will just be a set of things we'd recommend that you do when you start up with your Mighty Networks. So that one's here. The next one is your calendar. This is going to be a really important one because this is where we're going to put all of the events for the New Mexico Alliance of Health Councils. So Health Council talks, our Monday peer learning sessions, all of those will be in the calendar and they'll also show up in their respective hubs. But this is where you can go to see all of the events that we are hosting at the Alliance. And then you can also, to RSVP to them, you just click on the event And I mean, I'm going to this one, but if you click on this one, if there's a going, maybe not going, all of these peer learning sessions are reoccurring events. So when you click going, it's going to give you the option to RSVP to only the one event or the reoccurring events. So if you RSVP to all of them, it'll RSVP you to the lot of these trainings. And then from here, you can directly add these events to your calendar. You can either add them one by one here, so only add this event, or you can sync your calendar, which we're going to make a whole video on exactly how to sync your calendar. But syncing your calendar will just put all of the RSVPs that you've said you're going to straight to your personal calendar. So this will kind of eliminate us having to send out the personal email invites to the events, because you can go ahead and add them to your calendar from Mighty Networks here. Everything good so far? Any questions in the chat? Okay, so that's the calendar. The next one is your members. So this is going to be everyone that is part of Mighty Networks. So everyone across all boards that are part of it. The great thing about this one is that if you say, I wanted to chat with Geraldine, I could just click on her and click chat here, and I would be able to privately chat with Geraldine. The other great thing about this is that if people want to put their contact information, they can put that on their profile here, and then you can have their information to reach out to them outside of Mighty Networks if you need to. You can also always search for members up here, and they'll come up if they're part of the Mighty Network. Okay, so into the hubs. We have 3 main hubs. The first hub is the Health Council's hub. This one is going to be for general information for your health council, as well as if you have questions, if you need resources, all of that is going to be here. So if you want to ask a question like, what time is the peer learning session on Monday? Or does anyone have any community events coming up? Or has anyone ever participated in this event before? You could post that here, and then other health councils can respond, can share, can do all of that. The other thing that we would love for you to do here is to share about events or things that happen with your health council. So if you just had, like Brenda, I know you have your fair coming up. If you want to post a picture of your table and say, we had a great time at the Quay County Fair, we were able to educate a ton of people. And then that way other health councils can see all the work that everyone's doing and really cheer you on and see the successes across the board in a more centralized location instead of maybe in a newsletter or other more formal settings. And then we'll also post things here as well as they come up. The next one will be the resources tab. So this is where we'll have all of the Health Council talks, recordings, presentations, everything like that will be saved in here. And then we'll also have your Health Council fact sheets saved in this tab as well. And the Health Council contact sheet, which we have. So if you don't want to find people through the membership tab, this is the master contact sheet that we have on our website already. And then we'll just post all the things that have to do with Mighty Networks, resources, every recording we have in here as well. And then the last one will be meetings. So these are going to be meetings outside of the peer learning session. So most likely Health Council talks, other events that we have would be in this tab. Again, these will also show up in your calendar. So you don't have to come here for everything. They'll show up in your calendar as well. And then the next tab is the training hub. So this is our goal for where you go for all things related to any trainings that we provide and the peer learning sessions. So we have our peer learning hub, which is to facilitate these upcoming peer learning sessions that are going to be on Mondays. So here's where you have all of the trainings that we have scheduled for the rest of this fiscal year, which we sent you out the master sheet of this, but this is each of those individually. And then this is where we'll also host the recordings from each of those sessions, and we'll break them down by topic, by session. And then the materials from those sessions will be in here as well. The next part of the training is going to be the resource library that Geraldine mentioned earlier. So we'll be uploading things to here, implementing this across these 6 months, but this is where you can find this one. And then the last one will be these peer learning circles. So our hope is that through these peer learning sessions, that these peer learning circles will emerge around the topics that we're talking about. And as they emerge, we'll go ahead and create circles to discuss those specific topics that health councils can just talk about back and forth, those specific things, and really engage and help one another in those areas. I'm going to stop. Any questions?
Rebecca, this is Chris. I have just an odd question. I realize that, the Alliance is there for the health councils. The health councils are part of a membership or anything. But if any other people, let's say in the state of New Mexico, wanted to access any of this, let's say someone, in a community-based organization that even could be a member of the health council for that matter, if they wanted to attend a training or see what the health council was offering, or if they wanted to go to the resource library, is what you're saying now is the only way to do that would be through the Mighty Networks, or will there be any other sort of access like via your website or anything for someone to get to a training, get to a resource library, etc.?
Yeah, no, so we'll still have all of those things on our website. We'll still have all of our trainings listed on our website. I believe we'll still upload the recordings on our website. Like, these are public things, right? We're just hoping that Mighty Networks is a much more one-stop shop for the health councils to find those things. But yes, all of those things will still be on our website. Like we have the events, all of our trainings are on our website right now for the rest of the fiscal year. And then our resource directory and the recordings will all still be on our website, but just also here on Mighty Networks.
And if someone also wanted to provide something perhaps for the resource library, would they go through whoever is going to be handling that, or could they upload into the resource library?
Yeah, we're gonna, okay, Val, you want to handle that one? All right,
Oh,
I was gonna say,
Go
yeah,
ahead, Rebecca. You
we
got this.
are gonna vet everything that goes into our resource library. So it's not gonna be an uploadable thing, but anybody that has a resource is welcome to send it to us at our info@NM Health Council's email. And then we can look over it. And if it hits all of our vetting criteria, then we'll absolutely add that to the resource library. And I think also, potentially it's like if partners have an event coming up and they want us to post about it on our Mighty Networks, just email it to us and we'll post it on there to the Health Council's hub and all of that stuff. So it's still definitely a way to get information to health councils, but just the idea of it being to the public yet is not what at least not right now, what the plan is. But yes, absolutely, people are welcome to send us things for the resource library, but it won't just be an upload system. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Christina.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. Christina Morris here, Health Promotion in the Northwest Region. So I'm curious because this has very much reflection tonalities of AI. So how are you going to be ensuring that the algorithms aren't just going to be like really dominating for one part of things that are going to be into the feed? And then how are you going to be monitoring for, I have two more questions, or one more question after this, but monitoring for finding ways to ensuring that as the feeds are continually being generated, that it'll be eventually being utilized for future use or plans or recommendations. And then the third thing is, how long is this trial or this thing going to be used for us, or the internal parts of it? How long is that going to run before it actually starts being expanded out to other groups? Thanks.
Yeah, so to my knowledge, I don't believe that the feeds are skewed to top posts or things like that, like Facebook is, where it's not. The feeds are as they come in. So it's not like highly, is that what you're asking, is like far as if someone posts in the feed, but someone else posts something and it gets more likes, will it go up higher or?
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering how this particular Mighty Networks application is utilized in terms of how it digests algorithms, so that if something, although it's not about generating likes or what have you, or but making sure that all of any questions or resources or anything is being asked in feeds, that or how are you going to be monitoring all of that? Because that sounds like a lot of monitoring. And if you're going to be getting a lot of people in, that's just within 30 people within this group, and then you think about the expansion of that, that can just seem overwhelming. So I'm just very curious. Thank you.
Rebecca, do you mind if I chime in, my friend?
Please
Thank
do.
you, Christina. These are great questions. So just to give a little context, much like what Rebecca shared, this is not like a social media platform like Facebook. This is actually a learning tool framework. It's utilized for online learning. It has much of the user interface like a social media platform to make it approachable and easy to navigate. The team itself across the board, each of us are designated to a section of Mighty Networks that we will be monitoring, populating, facilitating, and together also tracking the usability. How are people interfacing with the tool? Where are they utilizing the tool more? Is it more so the training hub? Is it more so the feed? Is it more so the calendar, right? It's really going to be informed by the user so that we can see where is that gravitational towards utilizing this platform, right? And also it might be a question of confidence or approachability around the template, right? So how to then we get to support health councils on how to feel more confident about how to utilize it in benefit of them per their capacity, per their needs. And the third is that we wanted to start with, sort of this, closed group for health councils, particularly so that we can essentially, it's a pilot, right? So that we can test it out and see how is this really serving efficiently? Is it being an efficient learning tool, communications tool in service of health councils? And we're going to have, engagement points throughout the next 6 months to get that feedback, to get those refinements. And then once we can assess, right, over a period of time, wow, it is an efficient tool. It is highly utilized. Each of these hubs are serving their process, their purpose in service of the people that are interfacing with them. Then we can start thinking about how do we then include other partners, other functions in support of health councils or in collaboration with health councils. So it's a phasing out process. Of course, it would be great to just launch every idea that we have, but I'm always cognizant of like not wanting to overwhelm people and always thinking about what is in most service of the people that we're here to support and set up for success. So I would just invite all of us that are, as you interface, with us through this tool, like, absolutely, you don't have to wait for a feedback form. Feel free to engage with us. So I hope that satisfied your question, Christina.
It does.
Both of your
And
hands are up.
I just had one more question, and that is, I know you're eliciting health promotion to kind of evaluate this process, but have you already talked to our DOH IT? Because I think that's going to be a major thing for us to have access to.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's all about security and IT.
Yes,
So
and rightly so.
Okay.
Absolutely, Christina. So I don't know if you were with us earlier in the call, but
I was.
Yeah, so Diana brought something similar. So we are providing an update to DOH next week.
Okay.
We've kept our main contacts at DOH informed that this is something that we've been looking to implement. We're also going to present, much like today, at the core team meeting. So it's just not DOH's other partners that we're working with, so that we can then open up the conversation, like what could this look like, right? What could Mighty Networks look like in terms of these collaborations and partnerships that we have with DOH, CSCHI, so on and so forth. And of course, security is going to be central to all of this. So that's on our radar, Christina, for sure. Thank you
you.
for giving
Thank
voice
you.
to that. Back to you, Rebecca. If there's anything I missed, chime in, my friend.
No, I think that covers that one. And we really just have one more hub. So I'll go over that one. And then I think I'll do just a little overview of the top and then we'll jump into questions because I know we don't have a ton of time left here. So that is the training hub. Again, this is where you can find the peer learning stuff, the resource libraries, and then as the peer learning circles emerge, we'll have those as well. And then the last one is the NMAHC hub. So this is where you can find the legislative session advocacy roadmap that Val was talking about earlier. So this is where we are going to keep everything that pertains to the legislative session and all advocacy up to date on this sheet. And again, everything that's on here will show up on your main feed. So everything that happens in this will come up on your main feed, but everything that will pertain to the legislative session, advocacy materials, everything will be in this hub. So on this first tab, this is where we'll post calls to action. So times that we need you to contact your legislators. If we have upcoming meetings coming up, upcoming committee meetings, we'll post them here. The next one is our advocacy roadmap. And this is also where you can find all of the advocacy materials that you'll need to speak to your legislators, to find your legislators, all of the above. So I know we had those on our website, but those same materials will be here as the session goes on and as we create them, we'll put them here. And we also have what our roadmap looks like from now through the legislative session and beyond. That can be found here. And then the last one is just, again, all of the legislative related events that we have coming up. So committee meetings, everything like that will be in this tab. And then the next part of the NMHC hub is our fundraising campaign. So this is, again, where we'll put calls to action for fundraising purposes, updates on fundraising, everything like that will go here. You can also find the action plan for our advocacy, for our fundraising action plan, and then any events that we have that pertain to fundraising we'll put here as well. And then the last one will just be a communications and marketing one where we can talk about where we'll put our strategic plan and everything like that in here for you to access as well. And then we also have a hyperlink just out to our website if for some reason you need to get there. And then the last two spots are again up here. So if you don't want to chat by finding them in the members tab, you can just click the chat button up here, search for someone by name and start a chat with them. So this is again just a private chat function where you can connect with other people via Mighty Networks. The next one is going to be your notifications tab. So this will be everything that happens within your hubs will show up here. So if a post is made, an event is created, all of that will be here. And then this is also going to be a great way to see what happened since the last time you logged on to Mighty Networks, because you'll have notifications from each of those. And then lastly, this is your account. So you can update your profile by adding a bio, putting your location, everything like that, so people can know. And then save drafts, save posts, personal settings, all of that stuff is here. Does that feel like oh yeah, and I was going to pass it over to Geraldine if you wanted to talk any about the Tribal Health Council's hub, because I know I don't have it here.
No, I was gonna note that it's pretty similar to the Health Council's hub, and whatever has been shared kind of across the Health Council's hub will also kind of be shared in the similar format in Tribal Health Council's hub, but there's also been discussions that more tribal specific resources, funding opportunities, announcements, updates maybe from the state. And so a lot of that too will be specific for tribal health councils as well, because that's been really requested in the past. And so I want to be sure that that space is also utilized for that. And so, yeah, it'll serve as the same purpose as the Health Council's hub. Also, I do want to note too, tribal health councils, please do not just feel like you have to be just in the Tribal Health Council hub. You're more than welcome to also access the Health Council hub as well, which is like the more general information. And so that'll be an option for tribal health councils.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything I missed? Val, Susan, Geraldine?
You did great, Rebecca. Thank you so much. And I just want to follow up by sharing that, much like Rebecca said, we're going to be inviting our health councils via email with a hyperlink to go into Mighty Networks, set up your profile, and start interfacing with us there as well. Again, to emphasize what Geraldine shared, this is by no means a way to replace human connection. This is a tool, a communications tool, a learning tool. And with all of our partners, of course, looking forward to have some brainstorming sessions as to how we can integrate our partnerships into this particular tool moving forward, and how it can best support the work that we are, all of us are doing together in these spaces in relation to health councils. And also we'll be sending an email follow-up to that includes the overview video that Rebecca created that's more brief and from a perspective of the health council, so that you can have that available, and it's also included here. And as we follow up, as you reflect on this session and watch it again from the recording, if questions come up, reflections, refinements, here's how you can improve this from your user perspective. That's what we're also very deeply interested in, right? Because this is in service of you. So looking forward to that kind of constructive feedback. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, and I also want to note that I know we keep saying Mighty Networks and all this stuff, but one of the coolest things about Mighty Networks is that it doesn't have its own branding. So like when you're looking at this, you don't see the word Mighty Networks anywhere. So we're using that terminology to let you know that that's the platform we're using. But if you even look up here, the hyperlink says MN at the end, but it looks like our website, all of these things. So I just want to note that as well, that you're not in the wrong place. If you feel like you're not seeing anything that says Mighty Networks, this is it. It's going to be our name, mn.co. So I just wanted to note that, because we keep saying it, but they're awesome and we don't have to have any of their stuff really anywhere. So
it's our hub. Absolutely. So I know we have 7 minutes left, so happy to open up this space if anyone has any questions or reflections. That would be great. Margaret says yes. Oh, thank you, Margaret. Yes, I would too. She says thank you for letting her know.
Val and Rebecca, we have some questions from health councils, and so I'll start with Brenda's, and I think we may have already answered them, but Brenda's first question was, will each health council have a tab that we put resources to share in?
Resources as for the resource library, or resources as in general resources? I would answer both ways, and let us know, Brenda, if this satisfies your question. Much like Christine's question, if there are, tools, toolkits, templates, case studies, resources that you feel would be very leveraging to health councils, please email it to us at info@nmhealthcouncils.org so that we can put it through that vetting process that Rebecca mentioned earlier. And if there are, general resources that you have found are very, very helpful to you, this you can definitely share with health councils through the feed, through the Health Council Hub. So that's essentially what this tool is available and accessible to use to share and support one another. Does that answer your question, Brenda? Let us know via chat or voice, whatever works for you, my friend.
And Brenda, I also read your comment about the video or pictures. You can upload a video, especially since if it's a YouTube video, you can put the YouTube link, but you can also, you can absolutely upload a video instead of a picture. Yeah. It does have that capacity.
And it also has the capacity to share live. You can do a live stream if there's something that you want to call attention to in your community. You can definitely do a live stream. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Thank you for letting us know that satisfied your question. And again, as you reflect on this and watch the video that we sent, it's less than 4 minutes, I think. Rebecca was very dialed in as to providing the essential information. Feel free to reach out to any of us. We're happy to work through all of this with you.
Any other thoughts, questions?
We're
And
good.
Diana, good. I'll circle back with you, my friend, and schedule a time to meet with you and the team. It is nice. Yes, Beanie. Beanie says it's nice to have reciprocity with useful information in one central location. Absolutely, Beanie. Thank you. We get to work smarter. All right.
Oh, share. Does anyone feel extremely overwhelmed by it? Does it feel manageable? Does it feel impossible?
Then you can let us know via chat or emoji or
Put a
verbally.
scared emoji up.
A very frightened emoji, just kidding. Beautiful. It's like learning a new phone. Yes, Margaret, absolutely. And Brenda, we see you. It is nice to, yes, that was Beanie. Can each health council have more than one person on it? Great question. Absolutely. It's in service of your team. It's in service of your team. Beautiful. Thank you, Alexis. We are too. We're very excited as well. And more information to come as we're making progress and as we're utilizing it, you know, more information to come, and also lines of communication are always open. Let us know how it's all landing with you. Anything else, team, that would be important? Go ahead, Geraldine.
Val, could you touch on, so we've got this overview recording coming out, some follow-up material for Mighty Networks. And so what should health councils expect like next week, or like a time frame, you know, because if they get an email that pops up and saying like you're invited to join this hub, I guess what is the time frame, and like when health councils should it kind of expect that information?
Great question, Geraldine. I mean, you know, I think once the email and invite goes out, of course, you know, you get prompted to accept it and go through the various steps, much like Rebecca and Geraldine shared before. Although this becomes our communication avenue and all things services in support of you, a lot of this information always reflects on our website as well. So when you log in and follow the prompts to create your profile, you can also create your settings, like how you want to be notified. Is it through, you can download the app via your phone. So it's really up to you, like what makes most sense to you. Where is the means of communication that you are always connected with? Is it email, or is it text, or is it your phone? And so you get to kind of like set those settings that makes most sense to you. And then of course, you know, you can also, which is something I tend to do, it's, you know, turn on the feed, but because I'm interfacing with the platform all day long, I'm keeping track of everything, but that may not be the case for other people. So really think about how you want to interface. What would be the most helpful outlet to keep you in communication and informed? Is it the feed? Is it the hub? Is it via text? Is it via email? And so that's going to, you know, differ from person to person. Hi, Ashton. Does that answer the question, Geraldine? Or
It does. And just I think the other question too was if they'll get an email like next week or the week after to join.
Yeah, I think that email is either going to go out today or first thing Monday morning. So you can start interfacing with it. Thank you, Geraldine. And Chris Hollis, sorry. Thank you, Christine. We see you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Phoebe, if you lose access to your Facebook and you've linked them, meaning both platforms, would you still be able to? Yes, you're still able to log into your NMHC hub.
I was typing a response, but I think that they do ask you for a backup email, Phoebe, when you sign up. So regardless of if you link to Facebook or not, I think the linking to Facebook is just a way to quickly put your personal information in there so you don't have to type it all in. But you'll still be able to log in via email to the Mighty Networks.
It's wonderful. It's so easy to get locked out of your account. No one tells you that.
Honestly.
All right, I apologize. I'm gonna have to step off for the ship meeting, but thank you so much for all of this.
Yeah.
Thank
thanks,
you, Phoebe.
everyone.
Well, it looks like we're at the top of the hour. We thank you all so much for your presence and attention and receptivity. Know that we'll be following up via email, and we're always here to listen to your feedback, questions, and also refinements. Thank you all so much. Team, anything else?